Hello, welcome. Dr. Sushma Singh this side. Today, Unit 20 Economic, Social, and Cultural Dimensions of Globalization. We are starting our lecture on this topic, Cultural Dimensions of Globalization. Globalization has a profound effect on all our cultures and on the ways we live our lives. It has affected what we eat and the way we prepare our food, what we wear, and the materials from which our clothing is made. It has affected the music we hear, the books we read, even the language we use to communicate with others. Globalization has made certain languages extinct or dying. For example, Latin. At the same time, more people today are bilingual or multilingual than ever before. English, though in variant form, has become the lingua franca, and the number of English speakers throughout the world is growing rapidly. The central problem of today's global interactions is the tension between the cultural homogenization and cultural heterogenization. While the scholars like McLuhan talk about global integration and the global village, which may result from the process of globalization and resulting cultural integration across borders, there have been apprehensions about the cultural marginalization or cultural exclusion as well. Global flows of goods, ideas, and people and the capital can be seen as a threat to the national culture in many ways. In this section, let us look at some of the cultural dimensions of globalization. The first is increased pace of cultural penetration. Cultural change or cultural dynamics has always been a product of interaction with other cultures. Though the individual cultures are capable of endogamous developments, cultural boundaries are quite often porous, leading to the interpenetration of cultures. Cultural dynamism is the outcome of a process of mixing, borrowing, and adapting cultural attributes, and often the attributes that are borrowed and adopted come from cultures that are alien, distant, and foreign. Historically, cultural dynamism has been greatest where trade and exchange in the general have been voluminous and frequent. National and regional cultures are invariably a product of assimilation of various elements from other cultures, of a synthesis of elements that is a product of cultural interpenetration. Seaports and river ports have historically been centers of culture and civilization. Today, in the high-tech communication era, in which ICT made communication easier, faster, and cheaper than in the past, more and more cultural interpenetration is taking place. In other words, we can put it that the acceleration of globalization hastens the pace of cultural change. Cultural interpenetration through the exchange of commodities is today so pervasive that it is difficult, if not possible, to distinguish between the original and imported cultural attributes. Consider a person drinking Turkish coffee in Istanbul. The coffee originated in Ethiopia, the sugar in India or New Guinea, the porcelain cup in China. The tablecloth in restaurant is made from cotton, which originates from a plant domesticated in Central America, and the restaurant itself is a French invention. Likewise, diseases which originates in one place of the world spread to other parts of the world. For example, HIV/AIDS spread from Africa to the rest of the world. The penetration of global music has resulted in the marginalization of the traditional music among different cultures of the world. Today, the pop music and its local variations can be heard in all social settings from wedding to religious festivals and birthday celebrations. Now, let us move to the next point, the globalization of culture. Trade agreements have removed all obstacles and resistance to corporate invasion and control of human society. With liberalization of telecommunications, corporate culture is set to rule the world. Today, the whole world is wired and plugged into the same TV programs, movies, news, music, lifestyles, and entertainment. Satellite cables, phones, Walkmans, VCDs, DVDs, and other marvelous and wonders of the entertainment technology are creating the mass marketing of the culture and expansion of consumer culture. This may lead to a homogenized global culture. In the case of the media industry, the logic of profit and competition has driven media corporations to enlarge media and space market and to break down the old boundaries and frontiers of national communities. With the advancement of the science and technology and the improvement of the market, the earth has turned into a global village. It has also resulted in the emergence of global mass culture due to the increase in consumerism. It may make for increasing similarities in lifestyle around the world, evading local cultural heritage. The contemporary global communication technology lead to a globalization of culture, which may undermine the meaning of community and traditional institutions and values of life. For example, in India, it has ended the tradition of storytelling through which the old handed over their experience, culture, traditions, oral history, and the way of life to the young who had a sense of place and their roots. Likewise, the computers become the substitute for human interactions. Our own culture is being systematically appropriated and commodified. Folk and tribal festivals are being packaged and marketed through electronic media, plucked out of context and cut off from their roots. Here we want to close this lecture. Thanks for listening.